Hello, my name is Kai, and today I'm going to be talking about the Liverpool versus Athletic Bilbao game. We're playing two games in one day, so that's going to be very interesting. I'm mainly going to look at the formation, the players that could potentially play. Going to talk about the fact that since we're playing two games, probably going to see a lot of youngsters get some minutes. But yeah, before I get into it, it'd be great if you can like the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. But anyway, let's get into the analysis. So I think this is pretty much going to be the team that we start with in the first game. The reason I say this is because I doubt that Alisson's going to be back still. I think he still has the same personal issues, so I'm not going to put too much pressure on that. We'll just start Mamardashvili. I think Hugo's going to start, Verts. I think Rio's going to start over Gakpo, just personally, with Gakpo coming on maybe in the second half. But this is the team I expect us to play. I expect Frimpong to play in this game in some capacity. Expect Endo to play in this game in some capacity. Gakpo probably to play. Curtis, Trey, maybe. I think this is going to be a lot more similar to how we're going to set up against Palace. I think it's going to be a similar team. So because of that, I expect a lot of the senior players to play in this game in some capacity. These are the players that I'm probably looking at to play because we know that Joe Gomez is injured. I think that if Darwin is going to play, he'll play in the second game or he won't play at all because of the transfer speculation. I just don't think Arne is going to play a player who has active transfer speculation. And Tyler Morton looks to be going to Lyon, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. I'll go through some news. So I don't think he's going to play. And of course, some players have left on loan in the meantime, like Owen Beck has left, Isak has left. So I don't think those players are going to play. Now, I think in terms of build-up, we're basically going to do what we've been doing, which is this 3-2-5 in some capacity. I think we're going to continue the same tactic that we've effectively been doing the whole time. And the reason for that is there's no reason to change it. It's not like we've signed Isak or any reason to switch the build-up. If Arne wants to experiment with it, I mean, this is essentially the last game he could do that. But I think we're looking to prepare for Palace, so I imagine the build-up shape's the same. I imagine we see the closest we're going to really get to how we're going to play this season. But to be honest, I have a feeling that even the Palace game is going to be treated like a preseason game, so maybe we still won't really know definitively how we're going to play. Now, I'm also really interested in how we're going to play in the second game, because I was seeing reports that some younger players may potentially get their start, so I'm excited to see that. Now, we know that Ronel Young has left. He joined some Serbian team, so he's not going to play. But I think the players that are in contention, a lot of them have a chance of going out on loan, potentially staying as backups. I think one or two of the senior players will definitely be in that group. Maybe the likes of Curtis or Elliott or somebody will be, I think, playing in the second game. But I imagine you see the likes of like Tommy Pilling, Lucas Stevenson, maybe Kareem Ahmed, maybe Oakley Cannonier, Lewis Kumas, Dan's, like, you know, some of the people who didn't go on tour, McConnell maybe, TKD, Cade Gordon, potentially, Calvin Ramsey, potentially, because he hasn't left out on loan yet. Could see Welity Lucky, Amara Nalo, and Kayril Figueroa. And I just realized that one person who I haven't written down at all is Ben Doak. So there's a chance that you could even see Ben Doak in this game. Overall, I mean, that's what you're looking at in terms of personnel. There won't be much to read into the second game, in my opinion, if this is how we are going to do it. There's a chance that we split the senior team in half and we have a lot of youth players and senior players in each one, but I think it's more likely that one of the games is like a bunch of youth players and then the other game is the types of players that Arne wants to play this season. So that's what I think it's going to be, but I mean, there's a chance it's different. I think we're looking to see what players should be loaned out, what players should be potentially let go, and what players should stay in the under 21s. I mean, there could be a bunch of wild things in there, like maybe Alvin Amon plays, maybe somebody like Pennington plays, or Josh Davidson. I mean, there's a lot of curveballs that could definitely be thrown in, but I definitely think someone like Calvin Ramsey is going to play, though, which will be interesting because we haven't seen him play in a while because of injuries. But yeah, in terms of our build-up, it's still not ideal to have someone like McAllister and Gravenberch. There's a chance that it's Szoboszlai in one of these two positions, but I imagine Mac has to start because he hasn't started any games yet during preseason. So, I mean, there's a chance this is Szoboszlai, but I think Mac definitely starts, and we'll see if starting Mac deep helps our deep progression more, or if that's just going to be a problem that we deal with this season. Maybe Arne has a plan with Kirkes or Van Dijk or something. I'm curious to see if we still see Verts drop in, because of course Bilbao are better opposition than the likes of Yokohama. If Atletic drops in, if we see Salah staying wide or coming inside. But I think after his performance, Rio has to start. So let's get into some of the news. So to start, it's been broken that Al Hilal have presented an official proposal to Darwin Nunez in terms of contract details and salary. This is why I don't think he's going to start and why I likely don't think he's going to play in the first game. Oh, I didn't even mention Chiesa. I think Chiesa is going to probably play in the second game or very little as well because we're looking to sell Chiesa as well. But I think it's the end for Darwin. I think he's going to join Al Hilal. He couldn't finish, which of course at the end of the day is the reason he's getting sold. But I do think even if he goes to Saudi for 2 years, he could still resurge in Europe and have an okay career. And yeah, I think we are going to probably need to sign another forward if that happens. So maybe the Alexander Isak deal will still be on by then. It looks like we haven't walked away. We made our first bid of £110 million, which was definitely lowballing them, but we're trying to show Newcastle that we have like this statement of intent that we are going to go big for Alexander Isak. I was talking about Tyler Morton being in the final stages of him going to Lyon. I think this is a great deal for both us and him. I was going to be surprised if we got £15 million for Tyler Morton. I'm surprised that we did. It's good that there's a sell on. I hope there's a buyback. There's a chance that Tyler improves. I think he'll do incredible at Lyon. I think he'll be one of their best players, at least in terms of midfield. I'm excited to watch him next season if he does make this move, and I think it's a great move for him. Wataru Endo told Arne that he's okay with playing as a 6, as a right back, as a center back. He doesn't mind. He'll always give 100% to the team. Thought that's great. Definitely much more suited to be a center back than a DM for Liverpool. He's surprisingly good in the air despite his height. I think in ideal world, Endo would be a right center back and a back 3 because you could allow for the height deficiencies with one of the center backs out wide. I think he's a great player. If he's willing to be a utility player this season, I'm okay with that. It gives us a lot of backup options. I think it might spell the possibility of Lucas Stevenson leaving on loan again because of it, because I think he'll have limited play time. But I'd be okay with Wata as the 5th choice center back, 5th choice in the pivot. He would be 4th choice right back, potentially 5th choice, because I think I'd have both Curtis and Dom ahead of him there. But if he wants to be that utility player, I'm completely fine with that. Newcastle are basically not going to get Benjamin Sesko, I think. Sesko's looking like he's going to go to Man U. They were scrambling for Rodrigo Muniz. They're scrambling to still see if they can get Johan Vissa, inquiring about Gonzalo Ramos and Mitrovic if Nunez goes to Al Hilal. Look, it's a rough situation over there for Newcastle. I hope that they end up getting somebody. It would be really, really bad if they end up with no striker, you know, because if they lose Isak, they'll be pretty much forced to keep him because it's just Will Asula and potentially Anthony Gordon down the middle, which wouldn't even be that bad of an idea for Newcastle to go Anthony Gordon as their striker. I think they did it today against Tottenham. I didn't end up getting to watch the game, but I think that's how they played. Not the worst idea in the world. Definitely an option, but yeah, I hope they get some kind of striker because then it'll be easier to sign Isak. Another bit of news is that Arne is going to involve a bunch of academy players in the friendly double. So I don't know if it's going to be one team of senior players and then a team of academy, or splitting the senior groups with the academy groups, with the academy players all being subs. I don't know which one I would like more either. Maybe the idea of having an academy team so that we could rotate them all at halftime and see a lot more players. But whatever Arne wants to do, I'm very, very curious to see how this is going to work. And I'm happy because I'm going to be able to watch a lot of football tomorrow, which is great for me. Some more news is that Simon Wiles, the former Man U academy coach, has now joined to be the coach of our under-18. So we have both of those positions filled. So I'm really going to try to get those videos done as fast as possible on our academy now that I have the confirmations on everything, which is effectively what I was waiting for. And I mean, the new kit is incredible. Yeah, Isak Mabia is going to Wigan. I think we're trying to loan out Ramsey too. We have a good track record with Wigan, so I'm okay with this. Away kit, I really like the away kit. I think a lot of people, I guess, don't like the badge and how it looks, but I think the kit looks pretty clean. But the home jersey, I mean, throwback. Just imagining Fernando Torres in this kit. Incredible, good kit. I like the squad numbers. It was Frimpong 30. People were talking about Kirkez 6 being weird. You want a left back to wear the number 3. But as someone who really likes Brazilian football, left backs wear the number 6 in Brazil. So to me, it's not that weird. Of course, Kirkez isn't Brazilian, but to me, it's not as weird. Frimpong 30, Vert 7, which again, the iconic number of the likes of Kenny Dalglish and James Milner. Really a iconic number for Liverpool, so I'm completely okay with that too. Incredible. Ekitike 22, so palindrome number, palindrome name, even though I think the little diacritic over Ekitike's name makes it less likely. It makes it not a palindrome, but still, very cool. And the last bit of news I'm going to cover is from the most reliable journalist in the history of the game, Indy Kayla, which he was talking about Konstantinos Kouliarakis as a potential link to Liverpool. I was seeing Liverpool linked with Joel Ordonez as well. Both would be great signings. Ordonez would make more sense because he's Ibu cover. Same with like someone like Coney de Winter, and even Leone can play in that position, the Parma center back. Kouliarakis doesn't make a lot of sense for Liverpool. He's a good player, but he can only play the left center back, and realistically, Virgil is going to play almost every game that he possibly can out there, and the only time you're going to be able to play in that position is cup games, and I don't know if that's enough for Kouliarakis' development. Also, Harvey Elliott being monitored by Spurs is interesting to me. I think he would be questionable in a Frank team. I don't know if he can do the job. I know he can press, but is he athletic enough to play as a 10 for Frank? I'm curious about the move. I don't know if it's the best idea for him, but if he wants to go there, he wants to go there. Of course, Newcastle are still in for Juan Vissa, and yeah, I saw that Alexander Isak went back to training, which good for him. I know ultimately he's not probably going to be training with the first team, and he's probably not going to play until the situation's sorted, but I think we're closer to getting him, and I think if we don't get him, we can still get the likes of Rodrigo, and we already have Ekatike, so it's not really that big a deal. But that is it for me in this video. If you liked the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and as always, thanks for watching.